AVoIPoE. We're at the Kira Oval, the home of cricket in South London. Ryan, welcome to the last AVoIPoE Roadshow, KitPlus for 2023.
It's been quite a year, hasn't it, leading up to this moment? I say we've got our e-gaming setup here. Coming up today, we've got our live esports broadcast, various interviews with various exhibitors. I actually interview you and we summarise the year a little bit at one point, but shall we kick off with a system walkthrough?
Let's do that.
Go for it.
Through the system walkthrough. Ryan, now for this esports walkthrough, obviously everything starts with a sim rig. I want to bring Jack in here. Jack, go into a bit more detail about your rig, the specifics of the Fanatec, and obviously the PC that's running it, your display. Explain all of that.
Yes, so I mean the main thing is the seat, the rig itself. So we're using a playset Formula Intelligence, playseat Formula Intelligence, my bad. And on it we've got a Fanatec CSL DD. We've got the boost kit on it. The main thing with a wheel is you want to get the right amount of torque, the right amount of feel for it. So we've got the 8mm boost kit version, which is putting forward enough force to be able to get the feel, start to know where your car's slipping. We've also then got the Fanatec CSL pedals as well. Same thing is, it's a load cell pedal. The idea is you get the same feel as you do the actual car. Going back further to the rig, we've got a single PC that's running the actual game itself. Nice and easy to use. We've got a 3070 in it. You don't need too much power to be able to run a rig like this. But yeah, no, that's the rig.
Lovely. Obviously attached to the rig there are a few things that we've kind of added on here. What we've got is one of these GTMs from Glen Sound that kindly loaned us this. Now, with that, it's running Dante audio so that the commentator can actually speak to the competitor. Ryan, explain a bit more about that part of it.
So the audio we've got here, basically we've got Glen Sound we've partnered up with. They've supplied us with the AVoIPoE Express Mini, which is our commentator desk there. We've got the GTM Esports system there as well as a couple of PoE speakers we've got on the network. Now, in terms of how the audio set up, we've been able to do it so Stuart, who was our commentator when we did the esports scenario this morning, he's actually our camera up now, so I can't easily introduce him. I'm sure he could give a cheeky wave in front of the camera. Perfect. So he was able to actually talk through the AVoIPoE Express Mini to the competitor and actually have an open conversation during their hot lap. So it's a great way of trying to have that immersive broadcast experience and make everyone part of a production. Now, also in terms of audio on there, I might actually bring Darren into the conversation purely because there was a couple of extra elements that we routed through there. So, Darren, can I just interrupt you for a second? We've just been talking about how we've got the commentary set up. Do you mind just talking us through how we've configured the audio of the GTM? Because it's not the most straightforward solution we've gone for, is it?
No, so we've got the GTM, we've got a direct feed coming from the comms setup, so we've got two separate Dante channels coming through, so they'll independently come in, so whoever's in game can hear. Vice versa, we've also routed the audio from the GTM back to comms, and that will also come out on the master mix on our production. You can change all the audio channels independently as well. It's really handy for esports, the GTM stuff. We've also rigged in a few other little Dante bits, so we've got the Divine speakers, which can do up to 4 separate network channels on it. We've got them set up, so at the moment this is currently set to the 2nd channel, which is picking up the feed actually from the other end of the room. So we've got that being routed by one channel. The other channel is the audio from the cars, so when the esports setup is going around, competitors can still hear themselves back with the game audio. And that's another thing we've also got from the GTM. We've got the in-car audio routing back through, so everything can be heard on the headset, but it's all routed separately through the network, and we can control ticking on and off as and when we need it. I mean, there are a few other bits kicking around, but I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what we had in. But I'll pass you back to Brian.
Let's go over here and actually go through some of the other. So we've also got the NUC here from Thin Labs. Now, this is a PoE NUC. Not only does it run on PoE, but it also is driving these 4 displays that you can see, all running at 1080p, all off of the network switch on 90 watts. So how have you found that, and how are we using it in this workflow?
So we've actually utilised it here as our commentary station. So what we've done is we've got a couple of different camera feeds coming in via NDI. So we've got our games feed and program output coming into one of the displays. We've got our scoreboard on another one. And then we've also got a close-up camera just over there. So that was actually supplied to us by Panasonic Connect. That's their CX350, which has got one of their NDI licenses on. And the great thing there is it's pretty much plug and play. It's one of the few cameras on the market that's got a full fat Ethernet connection on the back of it, and you can literally plug it straight into the network, and all of a sudden you'd open up an NDI viewer, for example, and you can actually see the input come straight through, select, and you can bring that feed wherever you'd like. So we've got a feed coming into commentary, and also we've got a feed coming in over to production there. So it means Darren could mix it in vMix, and he could actually have that as part of our live broadcast show. In fact, actually, Stuart, if you just pan over towards the main screen there we've got from Vestel, you can see we've got it as a picture-in-picture feed at the bottom there. So it becomes a very versatile feed. And I say that's one of the main core things we've got as a lot of our video distribution is NDI. So we've got that utilised, as Darren mentioned, for using the audio, but also for the video from our Bird Dog PTZ camera. So that's a Bird Dog PTZ 240 camera there, and again that's got an NDI output. It's configured out the box as DHCP, so it's very much a plug and play camera. So do you want to talk us through the backbone?
Yeah, so we're using a 1 gig network because that's what we need. It's fine for what we've got, running everything on 1080p. And to be able to distribute the signal, we're actually using SY Electronics Excalibur 88. Now, this is, you can see here, the 88, the Excalibur here, it's a matrix switch that we're utilising here. And we've actually got that connected up so that this could be, let's say, in a rack somewhere. And if we come over here, you can see the keypad controller. Now, this is an anticipated product from SY Electronics. This is a keypad controllers. Now, this is all connected so that we can control the matrix switch from this controller here. And one of these extenders here that comes with the set for the Excalibur range, and that's driving the signals into the displays. So we've been kind enough from Hikvision to get 2 displays, and also another 2 displays from Vestel to demonstrate. There was a couple of LFDs there that are 75-inch and some 55-inch Hikvision ones here as well that we're utilising here for our demo.
Fantastic. So yeah, I say it's fair to say that it's a really sharp picture we're getting from both the displays from both manufacturers. So again, a massive thank you to Hikvision and Vestel for allowing us to utilise those as part of our production to show off our esports thing. Now, going back to esports, if you're an esports competitor, it's likely that you're actually going to spend quite a lot of time sat down, etc. And something actually came up earlier in conversation from one of the other exhibitors, didn't it, Sia?
That's right. But these aren't a pair of titties. These are actually for your feet. Now, if you're sitting and playing esports or even on your desk, your blood flow needs to go down to your legs. Now, let's go over here. Please explain a bit more about your wonderful leg flow.
Well, it is such a simple device, and it's designed to increase blood flow to the lower limbs for people when they're sedentary, so gamers, e-sport fanatics, people who work at desks, or even when you fly. Our research showed that after just 90 minutes of being sedentary, your blood flow to the lower limbs has decreased by over 50%, and that decrease in blood flow is what causes a deep vein thrombosis. And what we've noticed recently is with lots of gamers who are gaming for longer, with games being more interactive and more challenging, and a bit like your show kind of stand over there with this motor racing game, people are more involved and interactive, and they play globally now, as you know. So you sat there for hours, kind of quite often hours on end, just gaming, having great fun. But what we want to try and advise people of is just, if you are gaming or anything like that, the RBR leg flow, what it does, it sits under your feet, doesn't get in the way, it's very light, easy to use. We've got 3 exercises that have been created, and those exercises increase blood flow over tenfold, which significantly reduces any threat of a DVT ever happening. And we're getting behind it with our campaign at the moment called Game Safe, purely and simply because we're helping several families at the moment who have sadly lost young children or young adults to DVT through gaming. And it's something that should never happen. Gaming is about fun, excitement, challenges, as I said, and friendships. So yeah, we're here today to talk about, just raise a bit of awareness about thrombosis and DVT.
And of course, you were also on the Dragon's Den. You've got the video here. Explain what that was like.
Oh, that was quite a surreal experience, I must admit. Yeah, that went out last year. We got 2 Cursulium as a dragon, which was fantastic. We filmed for about 2.5 hours, and they edited it down to, I think, about 16 minutes, which is surreal. Wonderful experience, wonderful exposure. And basically, to do something like that, to raise the awareness, I think about 10.5 million people watched the programme. For us, as a small company with such a unique, world's-only device that we got here, it was fantastic. It was too big an opportunity not to take, and it was an absolutely amazing experience.
And where can people find out more information?
Well, obviously, kind of on our website, which is rbrlegflow.com. Or just type in RBR leg flow on Amazon or Google or anything like that, and up we pop. So yeah, more than happy to speak to anyone or help anyone with any issues they have with DVT.
Lovely, and you've kindly given me one of these. I'm not going to use them as fake titties. I'm going to use them for my things, but it's fantastic. Great stuff.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Perfect. So I say that's a great insight, something which had never even crossed my mind until we opened up that conversation earlier today. So I'd actually like to shift the conversation back towards bird dog, if I may. So yeah. I mentioned briefly that we had the P240 PTZ camera. I want to have a quick look, if we just turn around, Stuart, we'll have a quick look actually at the controller. And I say we've got the main output for the bird dog up on our big display at the back there. But we've got the lovely tactile controller, which actually you can probably see actually on the screen on vMix. This camera there. So if I'm going to zoom in on your face here, see ya? Let's see how close we can get. Perfect. But I say the great thing I love is the sheer responsiveness of the controls here. And if we just take a quick look at that, if I just roll it over, we've got a single cable going in. So the great thing here is it's a PoE powered device. And we just literally hook this straight into our Netgear switch, and it streamlines the whole approach really. And I think I did a quick tally up yesterday. I think we've got 12 devices which are PoE powered on this stand in total, which, to be fair, really streamlines our approach. And I say, while we're also on the conversation of bird dog, we've actually got one of the bird dog play devices just sat in the background here, which we're actually using basically to decode an NDI feed and send it into one of the channels we've got on the Excalibur Matrix. Now, the interesting thing about that device is, traditionally, it's not PoE powered. It actually runs off the USB-C for its power supply. But we've actually got a PoE splitter. So we can take the PoE from the switch and we can split it to a data channel and then also to a USB-C. So it means not necessarily the device has to actually be PoE enabled. We can retrofit that as an add-on as well.
Brilliant. And later on, we're going to have some of the guys from SY Electronics come down to give us a bit more in-depth, and we'll go through the new keypad controllers. But up until then, thank you very much, and let's go on to the next section. We are here at the Oval, the Kia Oval, for the last AVoIPoE Roadshow for 2023. I'm here with Jack. Jack, welcome.
Thank you.
So, Jack, you're kind of representing Esports Scotland and Sim Staff. Tell me a bit more about Esports Scotland first.
So, Esports Scotland is an event company, but they're much more than just that. They provide bringing esports to the local community up there, focusing a lot more now on education, health and well-being. They've been focusing on many different competitive titles. You've got Rainbow, esports, racing starting to get involved, Cisco, things like that. So it's a massive company, but not only that, it's welcoming the community and trying to bring as many people to the world of esports.
And of course, Sim Staff.
Yep.
We're here, you brought one of the rigs over. The reason we chose gaming as a workflow is obviously it's not a better workflow for us to demonstrate the technical requirements of a IP kind of workflow and network that we've kind of created. Tell me a bit more about this rig.
So this is our Formula Intelligence rig. So we use this for a lot of the single-seat type esports. We've used this across multiple different events, but it's also quite an entry, into the world of racing. You've got the same position. We've got Fanatec CSL DDs, so produce about 8 newton meters of torque. It's quite a hefty bit of kit. But yeah, no, this is a good way to get into esports.
And so for this event, we're having this hot lap competition. Yep. Tell me a bit more about the competition.
So today we're hosting a hot lap competition around Silverstone National. So it's quite a small track. All the drivers are only being able to get one out lap before then one racing hot lap. So it'll be interesting really to see how good people are, how competitive we can be. And yeah, we're going all day.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Oval in London. I thankfully now am on the mic, so that's perfect. So we're here at the KitPlus Show and we're running at Silverstone National here on the circuit. But yeah, it's all good. Here we go. So it's a fantastic circuit in the first place, and it's certainly a good match to the car as well, because the National, we were last week at the Burkitt Relay, which was run on the GP circuit, which is a slightly longer circuit than the one we're running today. And overall, that's quite a fast track. However, the National circuit is a little bit smaller. It cuts off just before Beckett, as you can see. It's not quite the GP. It's still reasonably long for a short circuit, and 5 turns, as much as doesn't sound like much, they're still quite difficult turns, especially that one coming into Maggotts and Beckett's as you turn right over the side there. It's quite a weird camber, and you go over a bit of a bump, so it's not the easiest to do. But yes, we will now just keep at the moment until we get ready for the lap from our driver. That being said, I will wait a moment and we shall go and speak to them. So yes, person in the rig, just give me a couple of words about who you are and what you do.
So my name's Liam. I'm crashing.
Well, that's, yeah.
Just warming up. So I'm from Cine Store, so we do consumables and accessories for the broadcast industry, effectively. So we're here today with a range of all the kind of on-set. This is embarrassing. I can't even get the car straight.
Well, it's the hardest part to get it off the grass, to be fair. So
this is.
Yeah, it's the slight problem is then you get grass on the tyres and it gets really slippery.
Yeah. Okay.
Just got to try.
Let's just gotta go slowly.
Yeah,
I'm hoping no one's watching, right? No one's watching me, right? Here we go. Right,
there we go.
I don't even know where I got to explain who I am. But yeah, so we've got a kind of range of different stuff with us today. So I'm looking forward to quite a busy day here.
No, excellent. We're coming down into Brooklands now. Taking that left.
I'm going slower now because I don't want to embarrass myself any further.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got the warm-up lap, which this is, so that is one positive.
Oh, I'm certainly warmed up. The skills haven't increased.
Now, the Tartus cars are not that easy to drive, to be fair. As much as it may seem like more like an F1, they are quite slippery, considering, even though they do have the wing, it's not absolutely massive. So there's not a great deal of downforce when it comes to it, but they're still much higher than most cars. Here we go.
I just realised these road markings, I should be watching them, and they're explaining to me what I should be doing instead of me just making it up, right?
Yeah, I think that, yeah, that's the thing with Silverstone. As I was explaining, it's quite a simple track, but at the end of the day, it's still not easy to get fast. Oh, momentum based.
Uh-oh. There we go. See, I didn't crash this time.
Well saved on that one. And now for the slightly simpler bit, which is the big long straight, Wellington Straight. Very, very... To be fair, Silverstone's quick, which is why I like the National as a circuit. It's just easier to pick your braking points, although that does make it harder because you're going a lot quicker.
Yeah,
As you come down into Brooklands, heading round towards Luffield, coming out to Woodcote.
This
That's probably the
feedback
hardest
is
corner.
amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you know, I've not crashed now for quite a while.
No?
I'm getting pretty cocky here.
I think that will be the end of the lap, I'm pretty certain. As we wait for the timing to update.
I'll just keep going just to show
Yeah,
off my
at the
skills.
very least until the timing updates. Yes, as we're coming down towards the entrance to what would be Maggots and Beckett's in the F1.
Okay, I've heard of that.
So it's the there we go, out on
Oh, no, a great finish, a great finish.
You kept it out of the wall, that's admirable. To be fair, it's very easy to send it straight into the wall there. But yeah, it's one of those
amazing.
tracks.
What a challenging thing.
But sim racing's fantastic, just in general. As a medium, it's a great track to use for it as well, because it's a perfect example of fast corners and slow corners, which is where force feedback comes into its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helping me at all, but it's great to play with.
I think it probably will help. It's why it's such a good medium to actually do it, because it just makes it nice and simple. And it also just gives you an idea of whether the car's sliding or not. And while you may not notice it consciously, it's an automatic thing sometimes. And across we go. There is a time, and it is very close.
Oh,
to
really?
Mr. Wakeman's.
I don't even know how.
You are pretty... I'm waiting to see if that's going to update any further. But we do have currently on my screen a time of 1:06.556, which is under 3 seconds off the fastest. So that's
Is that good?
over 3 seconds off the fastest. But that's pretty decent.
Hey, look, we made it out, so I
Exactly.
only partially embarrassed myself. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's your time, 1:06.556, which again is quite quick in terms of that. I think we could expect to see sub-minute potentially. That's sort of where it's at.
I feel confident that if I came back, I would
Yeah,
show myself off.
absolutely. Yes. Thank you very much for that. That was Liam Elder there in the rig. Just going to await our next driver for the time being. We shall talk about that. But yes, so the rig itself is just, that is a really, really useful thing to have in esports. Esports as a whole. How's that? Here we go. I will finish that sentence. Esports as a whole, basically, networking is kind of a big part of it. Obviously, it's all networked in. Everything works via the internet, especially if people are from home or they have their rig at home, or even in bigger examples like esports arenas where you have multiple rigs all needing to be put into one place. It's quite a big undertaking and it's an impressive setup, that's for certain, especially when you see it in arenas around the world. And there's a few of them, probably not as many as there should be, but there's a few of them. As we're just awaiting the driver setup now. There we go. Sat in the rig, waiting to get started. It does take a little bit of sort of teaching how to use a rig, especially if you've never used one before. They're not the most intuitive for certain things like that, but rigs, once you get used to them, are very, very good. I personally sim race. Unfortunately, not in a rig that nice. But yes, no, they're absolutely fantastic, to be fair. Sim racing is one of those things, if you can't necessarily afford to get on a track, or say you want to race F1 cars, which obviously most people can't do. That's kind of the thing with F1. But yes, here we go. So we have the driver in the rig. So if you could give me a quick introduction, just tell me who you are and what you do.
Hey, I'm Andre. I am a brand rep for Lumix cameras, and thank you for having me today to do this. I'm very excited, and I'm also a videographer and filmmaker as well.
Nice. So yeah, these cars are quite fun to drive, to be fair. Some downforce, so it's just a case of keeping control of the back end, really.
Okay.
That's the hardest. Whoop.
There we are.
We'll see if that's...
I'm used to that regen on my EV.
Yeah, that is the thing with EVs. They're good. To be fair, they are good, but when it comes to these, we are running the national layout, so not quite as long, and you don't unfortunately get to do Maggots and Beckett's, which, whilst it's a very, very quick set of corners, it's quite a difficult set as well. Just come round down towards Maggots now. There is a corner which not many people know about, which I believe there is a certain corner based off a church that used to be on the outside of the circuit, which is why I believe the corner was called Chapel. I think it's Chapel. That is coming from my memory, which could be interesting, but there is an entrance corner there in Maggots and Beckett's, which isn't well known.
Yeah, that force on the steering wheel was...
Yeah, it's quite strong.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
some sim wheels can go all the way up to very
Wow.
high, so that's, I believe, whoop,
Spun up,
a
spun
little
up.
bit of a spin. Oh,
So how do I reverse?
there we go. You should be able to go back into gear, so double tap on the left twice. There you go. But yeah, it's one of those parts of the tracks where momentum is key. Momentum is important, especially if you get the line wrong.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm not
Right
coming
track,
off again.
So here we go.
Remember I said that, I'm not coming off again.
He's come down the national pit straight.
There we are.
Two corners on the circuit here that are quite similar, which is Cops and Club Corner as well at the end in terms of complexity. As much as they are just right-hand turns, like here, they're very quick, which does play into potentially overspeed into the corner. Down towards Maggots and Beckett's now, getting very close to that camera, which is always a nice
Really
shot as we
loving
go into
this,
the national.
again.
Oh dear.
Mistook that.
It's an easy braking point to miss. That is for certain.
There we are.
Down to the Wellington.
How much can I fight back against the controller?
Pretty far. I mean, you can fire as far as you can pull the wheel within reason. I mean,
Okay.
at the end of the day, he's probably much closer to a car as you're going to get in terms of sim racing. That's for certain. But yeah, you can.
But I think
Pretty
the
much
thing
force
is that I have to remember is obviously this is very robustly built,
Yes.
but I'm also very heavy-handed.
I mean, I personally use, I'm pretty sure, the same wheelbase as that at home, and you can put a lot of force through it within reason. I mean, as far as you can go, because it's pretty much just magnets inside, so it's free moving. So you can go quite reasonably.
I can send it a bit.
You can, yeah, you can absolutely send it into corners here. We're just gonna wait. Timing's potentially up to date. I was assuming this is the hot lap. We are coming round now towards.
Is this the one that got me last time?
Well,
is
that
the one that
potentially
got me
is. It
last,
was
yeah.
the last one, which still, to be fair, was not bad. With the 1:11.462 showing on the board right now.
So this is what lap is this?
So I think this is a cool down.
Oh, so I already done my lap?
Yeah, so it's basically one out lap, fast lap, cool down lap.
I feel like I'm just warming up.
That's the thing with sim racing. It does take a couple.
Oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not.
But yes, so that's not a bad lap at all, to be fair. 1:11.462, and I think
I'll just slowly turn
there it is. There's the confirmation. Third on the leaderboard currently. Ryan Wakeman's still in the lead with a 1:03.
I'm third on the leaderboard.
Yeah, third on the leaderboard so far, which is not bad. That's for certain. In the best speed through that first corner on the national straight going through is a case of not flat-footing it all the way through. It doesn't work. You can't flat out that, even in F1. And they have a lot of power and downforce in those, that's for certain. But yes, we're now ready to speak to the driver, so if you could give me a quick point on who you are and what you do.
Perfect, thank you very much. Hello, I'm Ben. I work for Twitch and Amazon Advertising, and I'm now sat in a cockpit of what looks to be an F1 car.
Oh, nice. But yeah.
Okay, and I'm off. Okay, and this
Yeah.
is all automatic, is that correct?
It's manual gears on the back. There's a couple of paddles.
Okay, got you.
There we go.
Okay. We see.
Yes.
Is this limited to I come out the pit or?
So basically, you get one warm up.
Okay.
Both sides you can technically, well, apart from the brakes,
okay.
but I mean, but yeah, it's technically one warm up, one fast, and then a cool down. The hardest bit is getting them turned round because they don't have a very big turning zone.
No.
That's for certain.
Well, I was up in Donington the weekend before last, watching them all the
nice.
GB3. All right, there you go.
Great sounding cars, that's for certain, especially Donington, because it's not used as much as it should be for Formula Stock cars.
No, it's not.
Definitely not. The National is, and Incidentally, I think they're racing on the National this weekend for a series there, which is part of the Malta Ace Trophy, which again, we are back at Alpha Live. We're at that one to produce a stream on that. But yeah, there's a range of cars on that one, predominantly Formula Ford.
Okay, I'll go. The brakes are really good.
Yeah, they're very good in these cars. Brakes are exceptional.
Okay, hit the chicane. Let's come out this corner. Let's oversteer it.
Ooh, nicely kept. Yeah, to be fair, as I said, it's only 5 corners, but they're 5 reasonably difficult corners to get the braking point right and the acceleration right. So the next one's very difficult in terms of just not flooring it, because you can't flat out through here in most.
Okay.
Might be able to in this car, I'm not sure. It's very easy to run wide. Down towards entrance of Baggett's and Beckett's now, where there's a right-hander onto the National Loop, which is the cut across between. There's a link road.
Okay, it's going through. Okay, so I'm going to click this one. No, I can't.
That's just before the F1 would be.
Okay.
I mean, well capped out the wall again. That's easy to go wide there.
Okay.
I've seen it many times on real races in cars much slower than this, and they still manage to go wide. So certainly can be a little bit of a difficult track to get your brakes right, especially down to this corner, which is Brooklands.
It's funny because I'm so used to driving as a sort of third person in cars, so having the
yeah, being in the cockpit is very, very different.
Okay, let's try and accelerate.
Go, coming out the final corner. Hit the line. Where will the time be? We're about to find out. What's that update on our leaderboards? No, it's just basically a cool down lap. Just try and bring it back round for a lap.
Have you seen the guys who put motion detectors on a RC car and they race around and the things that it actually changes how the seat's done?
Yes, yeah. Oh, there we go. But yeah, we now have the time through. So for context, the last person in was Andre. You got a 1:11.462. You got a 1:11.478, which is incredibly close, to be fair. Somewhere within the 200s there. So very, very close. But again, anything towards a minute is still pretty decent, especially if people have less experience on a rig or etc. I think sometimes you can see into the sub 1 minutes, but that's pushing it.
Yeah. Will you see that today, you reckon?
I hope so. But it would require someone who really can send it around the circuit, like at full speed. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Pull up to the side now.
Thank you very much. Cheers for
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, as we now await the next competitor, who is waiting in the wings, we can just talk a couple of bit more about the circuit in general. It's in general quite good. In the actual sim, there is a lot more grandstands than there used to be. Now Silverstone's actually put those grandstands in on the Woodcott area, where they didn't used to be. It used to be just generalised standing on the side of the course. Thankfully now they've got grandstands in. Whether they will remove them again, we don't know. But it certainly does look better with the grandstands. Even if they don't have people in them on the smaller events, it still looks fantastic. And just makes that circuit feel that bit more busy, which certainly helps the drivers, I'm certain. Here we go, just setting up for the next driver in the chair. Having the headset, which is the headset. And yes, we're now ready to speak to the next driver. So if you can give me a couple of words on who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Izzy, and I work for Lumix.
Okay.
And I'm currently a placement student, actually. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
First time in a rig, or you've had a few bit more? Yeah.
No, this is my first time.
Oh yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh,
it's interesting. Yeah, the feedback is the big thing about it. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Pretty sure the brake they got on there is a load cell, so it's quite a lot of force required to brake a small amount. But these cars have very good brakes, so.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly one of the better. Certainly one of the better cars, to be fair, to do this with.
That's good.
Wait. Into Brooklands. The most important thing is remembering to change up gears.
Wait, I can't, how do you change gears?
So on the back right of the wheel, where your hand is, there's a paddle. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. I think it. Yeah, that's the paddle to go up. Left one's to go down.
Okay. What does the gears do, like, in an F1 car?
So yeah, you just change up when it hits a high level of revs or you hear it bouncing. There you go. Yeah, so it's very, very similar to an F1. Pretty sure there's an F4 potentially. I know it's a Tartus.
This is so scary.
There we go. Quite a lot of force required for the next corner. I mean, to be fair, you kept that. Especially since, as you said, it's your first time in a rig. That's, yeah, Silverstone's not an easy circuit to do.
Oh, I didn't even know where we were. No!
As a tip as well, especially with the wheel, if you keep your hands off it when it's spinning, because you can actually get your finger caught on it. You can see what I mean?
I don't. Where do I go?
I'll let Jack come in and give you a heads up. But yes.
Which way's the right way? This
Jack
way.
will get you there. Ooh. There we go. Just let on. Jack will get you back on circuit. Wait to go down the Wellington straight.
Yeah. Do I have to go off a gear? Or?
Yep. Here we go again. But yeah, it's, as it said, it's automatic, I believe now. So hopefully the car should be changing gears for you now. See if that's the case. Just come round into Brooklands, through towards Luffield and Woodcote. 2 corners which aren't the easiest to get. Round onto the back straight now, just coming down towards the final straight, towards that start-finish line. Hopefully the car should be changing gears itself now. Yes, it is. There we go, automatic gearbox. Lovely. We'll come round onto a lap, I'm pretty certain here. Okay, here we go, coming down towards Cops Corner. Nice right-hander there. Actually, that was a nice line, actually. Coming down towards the entrance to Brooklands, that right-hand turn towards the Wellington straight. Not the easiest to get right, especially on the braking point. There we go. Down there. That's it. Ooh. Well held. There we go. There we go. Right, you got it back on track, that's the main thing. Just come down the Wellington straight now. Into third gear, under the bridge. And down towards Brooklands once more. There is the hospitality suite on the right hand there. That's what that building is. That's where they have all the F1 hospitality, or hospitality in general for any event. As we suggest in the grass. Are we going to save this from the wall? Yes, actually. That's done.
I got nowhere. Okay.
Take a left there and then just round that corner to your right. And
is this turning too much?
No, it's not turning at all. There we go. Coming down through the gravel towards start-finish straight.
Am I going the right way?
Yep, you are. You're going the right way. It's coming down towards the pit lane now and just basically straight down here and you'll cross the line. Obviously not straight, but you know what I mean. Let's come round towards the end of the lap. And we will get a time of... Whoa. Going to get the time of...
That was so hard.
Currently on my screen it's a 1:50.405, but whether that lap updates, we will see. Just waiting. That does look like it is the fastest lap on the board for Izzy there. So 1:54.05. Thank you very much, Izzy, for that. There we go, 1:36.271. So, not too far, thank you. Not too far off there from Gavin Glover on the leaderboard, but that's currently the top 6 as it stands. Yeah, as proving there, sim racing. Not as easy as you might think. Okay. And yes, we now have Sia from Broadtech going into the rig. Mammoth legend. Just sitting in there. There we go. There's a nice little camera angle for you. In the rig. Getting the little bit of setup sorted But yes, it is, again, Silverstone National is one of those tracks where it's quite difficult to get right. If you miss a corner, or if you miss your line, or if you miss a braking point, it's very easy to send it off into the gravel and lose out on quite a fair bit of time. Current fastest is Mr. Wakeman.
I'm not using these, am I?
As we await Sia to get this set up. And yeah, we can now, hopefully, once Sia's got that sorted, I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds before I have to do that. And now we can speak to Sia. So Sia, if you could, well, no, you are now, but if you can give us a couple of words on what you do.
Yes, how are you doing, Jack? Stuart.
There we go.
Jack and Stuart, I've listened.
Jack's the one behind you helping
It's
with the
because of Jackie Stewart. I keep making a mistake.
That makes sense.
Look, basically, I'm a technology consultant, and we put together AVoIPoE to demonstrate a design methodology. So the design methodology here is that because gaming is, it's a really, it's a good kind of interactive thing, and it has a real requirement for high technical output. You need zero latency, you need good image quality, you need to have good, fast refresh rates, and it lends itself as a perfect medium to be able to demonstrate this kind of workflow that we've kind of put together.
Yeah. Well saved.
And as you can see, I'm a very safe driver. I usually drive exactly the same as the way you see me here on the roads of London.
That's the thing with London. London, one of those places.
But nowadays, you can only go 20 miles an hour in London.
Yeah,
so,
that is a slight problem. Either that or you can't drive at all.
Exactly.
In certain areas of London. It's very much become the city of the bike. Well, they're trying to make it the city of the bike. Thankfully, Silverstone is not bikes. That's for certain. Unless you're on the MotoGP, of course. Come round on the end of the straight there. Well kept out of the wall, considering. Yeah, this is that link road I mentioned between the GP circuit and then back through to, well, past the end, because the GP circuit just continues there. Down the Wellington Straight under the bridge. Unfortunately, the only bridge remaining at Silverstone, apart from the one up near Stowe. There used to be 3 bridges at Silverstone. One was the old bridge section, hence bridge.
I went to Stowe the other day with the kids.
Yeah, Stowe's lovely. It's why the corner's named it, because it's pretty close. I didn't realise how close Stowe was to Silverstone until I drove past it once. It's about 10 minutes or 5 minutes from Silverstone. Yeah. Silverstone's a fantastic circuit. It's technically my local circuit as well. Here we go, round onto the fast lap, I believe. I guess that last lap was the fast lap. Okay.
Oh, no.
To be fair, that's very easy to do on Cobbs. That is the Max Verstappen Lewis Hamilton corner, that one. Ooh, certainly the fastest through that corner. Oh dear.
Oh, he's done it again.
I'm just waiting to get back on track. On the Wellington Straight, so take a left there. That is the wrong way down the circuit.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's going backwards. And there we go. There's a lap time through. That is a 1:14. Yeah, I think it was the one before. It's very easy to lose track of.
I'm going the wrong way.
There we go. You've been put back to the pits. So 1:14.493. So there we go. We have top 7 drivers there from the bottom. So we've got Izzy Bryant in 7th, followed by Gavin Glover, Sia Faka there, then Benjamin Jeans Williams, Andre Sangadou, Liam Elder, and then right at the top, Ryan Wakeman, who's currently on my right. But yep. So we're going to ignore Ryan's for now, though. So Liam Elder, fastest on the board by a good 5-ish seconds, which is very impressive. Very, very impressive for that one. So we're just going to wait for Sia to get out of the rig, and then we will hopefully have a couple more words with him. Who's there? Nope. He's going away, as we will continue talking here for the time being. And we're just going to throw it over to them in a couple of seconds once everything is ready. And here we go. Thank you very much. And I'm going to pass over to Sia.
So there we have it, the competition. How do you think it went?
I think we had some very quick drivers.
We've got a bit of a crowd here. anyone who would like to have a go here, we're running a little hot lap competition. Please step up and Stuart will show you around.
Get you in, let's go.
Let's go.
Grill. So if you want to hold it there.
So what we've got here, what we haven't actually explained is how everything is working. We're going to go through that in our systems walkthrough. But essentially here we've got a number of different vendors like we do and all the AVoIPoE roadshows. This time round we've had a lot of support thanks to Hikvision, thanks to Vestel, thanks to Bird Dog, Glen Sound, SY Electronics, Panasonic Connect. Who else is there? Obviously Esports Scotland, Challenger Mode, and Artura as well. So Artura is something interesting we'll show you a bit later on as well. So sure, generally, how do you find the engagement when you're going around and showing this esports stuff? How do you find it? And, you know, what's the conversations that you're having in terms of the technology with people?
Well, it really depends on, you know, who's hopping on it. We've had people who, you know, brand new to the world of esports who, you know, don't have any sort of understanding of it. So it's always interesting to be able to bring them in, show them what we're about. But not only that, we've also had people who have been in, you know, esports in the scene for quite a while now. And people love to just hear about, you know, the specifics about it, figure out exactly how each and every rig works. So, you know, it's awesome to see. The level of understanding of most people that we've had on it today have been top notch. Yeah.
So we've had quite a few different people. I think we had a gentleman from Twitch. We had a few different studio owners that are looking and seeing and trying to understand what our workflow is about and how we've achieved what we've achieved here today. Well, the interesting fact that comes through is how quickly we've installed everything. Really, it's about configuring everything, you know, making sure you've got that right. We had a bit of a power issue. We managed to overcome that quite quickly. But yeah, I mean, again, the solution, as with all workflows that we work in on AVoIPoE, it is all about saving time, saving energy, and saving money. And because you're saving time, saving energy, and saving money, it is definitely the future. So when we're looking at networks, whether it's a wired or a wireless network, you know, utilizing an IP solution is the way forward for a lot of these sorts of applications and workflows.
So, I'm a bit gutted really. I actually set the demo lap when we were setting up the system earlier today, but Liam from Cine Store has gone and beat it.
Yeah, well, we had an exhibitors competition, and Liam seems to have come out on top. What was his time?
So Liam set a lap of 1 minute and 6 seconds. So
wow.
There's a couple of teams, people who have come in there and set a few faster laps since, but
this is the exhibitors competition.
The exhibitors competitions, yeah. So my little time didn't actually count earlier.
It didn't count, no.
But
so let's go and find Ian and see what he's got to say.
Let's go and have a look.
His name's not Ian, his name's Liam.
His name's Liam. It's been a long morning for you.
Congratulations, Liam. You're the winner of the
Am I the winner? I'm surprised, to be honest. It was not a great performance.
Liam, tell me a bit more about Cine Store.
Yeah, so Cine Store is a consumables and accessories supplier for the broadcast industry. So we stock quite a large range of stuff, from your standard gaffer tape, your lens cleaning, and all the little bits in between. We supply that to all different types of customers, you know, feature films, TV shows, wedding videographers, and everything in between. So we have a massive range. Obviously, this is just a subset of what we do, but we've got all available on the website, and that's where you can jump on, order all your essentials for your bag, and then you've got them for your next film.
So what made you a speed demon at this game then?
It's just pure skill. You don't ever want to drive in a car with me. People say I drive erratically. I think it's just skill.
Fair enough. So where can people find out more information about Cine Store?
Yeah, so you jump onto www.cinestore.co.uk, and that's a full web shop on there, and everything's available. Loads of different options. Shipping anywhere in the UK and worldwide. It's dead easy, and we're on it. We get stuff out to you straight away.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. First.
We're here again with Ian. Ian, please take us through the Glen Sound stuff. You've given us some stuff, but take us through your stand and tell us what's new.
What's new? Right, we've got a timecode reader now. So this was a project we did for Solartech. So this is an analog timecode reader. We've got 12 outputs on the back of that you can feed into a rack. We've also got a Dante card going into that later in the year, so you can actually send timecode over Dante as well. So yeah, it's a new line for us. It's also introduced us to a new line of customers in terms of lighting and a lot of fireworks companies that need to keep a very close eye on their timing. So that's all good. I think since we last spoke, we've got now, this is our new look AVoIPoE unit. So this has got a rubber buffers on either end. It's a nicer looking little unit. We're using the Halo connector from Nutric on there, and USB-C power as well as the PoE powered. So great little unit. And if you look in the rack there, the second one down, we can rack mount this with 3 in a rack. So, and comes in lots of different flavors, 4 outs, 2 ins, 2 outs.
You're really churning these products.
We certainly are. Then coming down, this is an interpreter and audio descriptions box. So this one's quite a unique product in that with Dante, you can obviously send multiple feeds out and connect multiple boxes together. So from an interpretation point of view, you can have the floor audio coming into the interpreter, who can then speak back in the language and then send that audio back out on different Dante channels. So in an interpretation scenario, you may end up with the main interpreter is interpreting from, say, English to French. The next person could be French to German, so you can connect the boxes, and obviously with Dante it's very easy to do your audio connections in and out, and you can interpret and create a whole sort of bank of interpreters. So that's one side of it, and the other side is audio descriptions for theatres and places where you may have people who don't have
hard of hearing.
Yeah, hard of hearing and vision issues. You can have an audio description person that will basically describe what's going on the stage. That will allow the audio still to come through to their listening device, and then it just dips the audio while they're describing what's going on, and then it sort of comes back up to normal level. So another one for us. Then if you want to come around, what else do we have?
Ooh, this looks fancy.
Oh, this is a product we're distributing in the UK now called ATA. So this is a audio over IP. Gives us options to allow to use some of our existing boxes and still have IP connections back to the main studios. But I think that's probably it. We do have a couple of other products, but they weren't too relevant for this market. But
let me ask you one question. You're heavily invested into Dante, and Glen Sound is very well known for being an audio company. Is there any kind of, looking at Dante video, maybe going towards the video side at all? Or are you firmly staying in the audio?
There is, can't say too much, but we are definitely exploring that side of things for some of the newer commentary boxes. I think it's inevitable they will need video links, and I think with NDI as well, there's definitely going to be something there that we'll be looking at. But
watch this space. Glen Sound is getting into the video game. AVoIPoE Roadshow. We're here at the Oval. We're here with Simon from AJA. Simon, tell me a bit more about what we can see from AJA at the show.
Well, obviously, AJA has a very large number of products, so we wouldn't be able to show them all here at this show. But so we've chosen sort of like carefully the products we want to show here. So we're focusing pretty much on 2 products, I would say, here today. One of our color processing products. So we have our FSHDR frame synchronizer, color processor. We have our color box here that we've won a lot of plaudits for. Basically an algorithmic color transform processor, so able to process different LUTs, different formats, and we're also showing our Key Pro recorders here at the show, and also our NDI bridge product.
That NDI bridge product, that seems quite interesting. Tell me a bit more about that.
So essentially what it is, it's a bridge between the SDI world and NDI, so to and fro. So you can have, say, it's a 16 channel box, so you can have 8 SDI inputs transforming to NDI, and also vice versa as well. But not only 3G, but also 12G as well. So you can kind of like aggregate 4 3G inputs for 12G, so you can also have 12G to NDI as well.
Brilliant. So you're basically bringing SDI onto the network. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. A lot of people are using kind of like throwdown boxes in that sort of environment. You know, when I was at KitPlus in Glasgow, for example, the amount of people I saw from the BBC who had no awareness that such a kind of like a compact product existed in a 1U packaging. And so for them, rather than having throwdown boxes with wires scattered everywhere, they could have a rather neat, compact 1U box with a great packing density of 16 channels on it. They really liked it. It was great.
And are you finding this kind of, I suppose this move to IP is speeding up within the broadcast world?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think NDI is very, very wide adoption. It's very compelling because of the price point for people. I mean, obviously 2110's been out there a long time, but it's very expensive, complicated to put together. We've introduced, you may be aware, we've introduced our Dante AV boxes. So we have a couple of boxes now into the Dante world, which are really is actually quite a nice sweet spot. More expensive, but it's very, very low latency and fits into the whole Dante world. And there's a whole industry that, of widespread Dante users that absolutely a complete kind of like fanboys in terms of Dante. So to have a video I/O product or video gateway into that world is very good for them.
Yeah. I have to admit, I am an Ordinate fanboy. Yeah. I mean, from an audio side, they were the ones, obviously there's Cobra now and stuff, but they were the ones to truly kind of unify everyone around one protocol and kind of make it all work. And and hopefully and it would be interesting to see that product. I'd definitely like to be able to utilize that.
They're late to the party, but I think it's going to build momentum.
Yeah.
And like I say, the low latency aspect, sound syncing problem, issues where you've got like a talent on stage and big screens, whether it's a rock concert or a TED talk or something like that. The fact that you've got complete sync between what you're seeing on the camera and what's actually happening audio-wise is a big one.
I found that on a 1 gig network, it worked better than NDI HX in that respect. I think we were using bowling cameras and encoders, decoders, but it would be interesting because I know the way that you've applied in your encoder, decoders, you actually put something special on top of the.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously in our encoder decoders we're using JPEG 2000, which gives the best possible quality versus compression trade-off. So yeah, I mean, those people who have seen it absolutely love it. We're talking to some very, very key clients at the moment, which will, in terms of news stories, will drop in the coming months. Very high-profile people, so we should, watch this space, as I say.
Lovely. And on the roadmap, is there anything that you could tell us now that's coming soon? ISE with Random?
I'd have to kill you.
I've got 9 lives.
To be honest, I think our major product drops tend to be geared towards NAB rather than ISE.
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, I think what we'll see at ISE is kind of confirmation of those products we've already announced. Like the Kona X is now shipping, for example. That's looking to be an exciting product for us. So yeah, there's it's all happening. So
brilliant. I'm gonna definitely try to hook up those Dante encoders, decoders for one of the forthcoming workflows. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
I'm joined by James Miller. James, you're here from SY. Thank you for coming down. Thank you for supporting us for all this time.
Always, my pleasure.
I wanted to go through your keypad controllers. These are the KC range.
That's correct.
Tell me a bit more about them.
Okay, so these are our brand new flagship products, the KC, and also we do a KCS, which is very similar. and it's the natural evolution from our KP series of keypads, which were really popular. You could find them in a host of educational higher learning spaces. You could find them in a lot of corporate meeting rooms. They serve as a reliable, flexible means of controlling your AV and automation. So here we have the 10-button variety. There is also a 4-button, 6-button, and 8-button. We have the option of a rotary dial for more command flexibility. And what it does better than the KP is it's basically a lot more functional in terms of what it can do, multi-room control. It's got more LAN possibilities and PoE, so you can power the thing entirely off your Ethernet. And yeah, we took all the good things that people loved about the KP that you can see up and down the country and improved it and made it more durable, more reliable on the outside as well as on the inside. So we've got GPIO protection against overcurrent, and it's just a more durable successor to our popular KP range.
Now, the way that we've set it up here is actually, this is used to be able to control your Excalibur 88 matrix switch that we're using, and obviously the extenders that we're using. So we're using a number of different cameras and a number of different displays. Indeed. And we have here the commentary box, and then you've got the competitors over there and the production. So what this enables the commentator to be able to do, he's able to take any source and to put that to any display.
That's
and
right.
that's the way you would use it. And one of the things that we loved when using this and when we set it up is the ease of use, ease of functionality, and how just how easy it was to set up. We literally put, assigned the IP address, and once it started working immediately with the Excalibur range, and they were working together, and it was very easy to set up.
Yeah, correct. I mean, that's one of the things that was really important in designing the KC, was to make sure that it was widely configurable so that you can use Lua to program complex, sophisticated multi-room configurations, or you can just use a really simple drag and drop codeless means using our new software, Nebula Studio.
And there's a lot of work, I understand, that's gone into the Nebula Studios. Besides that, is there anything more that you can tell us? Because I know that there's more things to come.
Yeah, well, this is Nebula is the first use of the first time we're using the software for this particular product. But Nebula is a really diverse and highly adaptable software, which we're going to use for more SY products in the future, for sure.
So it's right to say it's essentially going to be your operating system for all SY products.
Sure, yeah.
So thank you very much, James, for coming down.
Absolute pleasure.
And thank you for your support again.
Thanks very much, sir.
Brilliant. And we're here with Damien. Damien, please tell me a bit more about your van and what we've got going on in here.
Well, my van stroke mobile horse box that we've converted is our effectively mobile outside broadcast unit. As you can see, we've got Viz RT, which means we've got the TriCaster 2 Elite inside and the 3-play replay system. So
let's have a look.
We just... So this is it. So we just turn up at events like Canterbury Rugby Club. So this weekend on Saturday, we'll be doing Canterbury Rugby Club's home game. We have about 6 crew, 1 operating the stream, mixing the production, 2 or 3 cameramen, and we have Ronan, which is also wireless pitch side, NDI cameras, and we output using Live View Solo, just to make sure we've got a solid connection. But
what was the thinking behind going with Viz RT and NDI?
Okay, so I come from humble beginnings in the broadcast industry. I got a taste for it, being asked by Canterbury Rugby Club to do a live stream with a drone. I said it wouldn't work, although they wanted me to prove it to them, so I did, and it didn't work. It doesn't look very good. So we went from 1 camera to 2 cameras, pitch side, and then lockdown hit, and by that time, it's fair to say I got the bug for it and wanted to do more live streaming. So I sort of reached out to everybody in the world during COVID, because people wanted to speak to you during COVID. and Maurice and Liam sitting down there did me a demo on a new tech TriCaster Mini. I was blown away by it, and its ease of use, you know, NDI, power over Ethernet, the ability to just rock up one cable, plug it in, 3 or 4 cameras, and you can go live in about 45 minutes an hour. And not coming from a broadcast background, being able to use ability and be able to do things like the big boys do was what I was really striving for.
And that in itself, I mean, that encapsulates everything that we're talking about in terms of AVoIPoE, ease of use, streamlining, low energy use, easy to set up, the flexibility that it allows you. And you know, you don't have to buy this really expensive broadcast gear to get something of a really high quality result out of it.
Yeah, I don't think we're far off, you know, apart from maybe spending some money on graphics, I don't think we're far off of what we do from a production to the big boys. And we literally turn up in a horse box with 5 or 6 crew and we go live very quickly.
How do you find, I mean, we spoke earlier and you were saying that you also use Starlink. How do you find the upload links with that? Because we've always had troubles with that.
We use Starlink for a very different reason. We use Starlink for our LU800 server. So we've got an LU800 server. So if we want to do something remotely, we did an event recently, an air show. We can send 4 crew down there with 4 cameras, live U800, and we get 200 to 300 megabits, which is enough to pull the full HD feed in, and then we output through live view solo again. So that's what we use it for. Yeah, upload on Starlink isn't great, but the download capabilities are really good for us with live view server.
Fantastic. And what else have you got in there? What have you got there?
That's just some drawers with some spares. So down there, literally, we've got a TriCaster TC2 Elite. Yeah. We've got a replay system, so we've got the 3 replay system as well, and then we've got the LU800 server above it. Wow. And that's it. And it's one plug in the wall, and we're away. And I'm going to speak to that gentleman over there because we really can go.
Well, where can people find out more information about what you do?
So our website, www.mms360-co.uk. So yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Damien Constable. So yeah.
Brilliant. Damien, you're a perfect example of AVoIPoE in practice.
No problem.
Lovely.
Thanks a lot, mate. Take care.
Robbie from Bird Dog. Robbie, thank you for joining us.
Okay.
And we're joined by Robbie from Bird Dog. Robbie, thank you for joining us. Is this the first time that you've been to a KitPlus show?
I've been to many KitPlus shows, but yeah, it's first time in the Oval though, so it's quite nice to be here in the Oval.
How have you found the show so far?
Quite good. The great thing about this show, you go and see a lot of faces you would know, and you're talking to people and customers, so it's a really good show to actually get to meet some of the people on the ground.
Now, you obviously lent us the lovely unit over here. We're using this, we used it earlier on in the competition here. Now, tell me, what's the reaction been like for these PTZ cameras along the way in terms of Bird Dog? Because you've really, established yourself with NDI and PTZ cameras. Tell me a bit more about that and what you guys have been able to do.
Yeah, so we have a P240 here. It's probably our flagship on our HD. It's a 40 times zoom. It's a really, really good quality camera. And what we do push NDI, but we do SDI, HDMI. We've also got a 4th feed coming where we can actually do SRT. We can push up to Facebook, and we can also send to our own cloud products as well. So we're really looking to embellish our cameras, and that's a software called Silicon 2. And that'll go across all of our cameras from, should be about another couple of weeks now, and that'll be released.
So what's on the horizon then? What are we to expect from Bird Dog?
Where we're going, we're pushing very much towards how we distribute through the cloud. So what we're looking for is having cameras where we can just drop a camera in, it talks to the cloud, and that video becomes available. But not just that, you can control it, you can utilize it how you want to use it in that space, whether that be a single camera or multiple cameras, and how we sync all those feeds together so they come back as one and work all together.
So you're thinking about the complete workflow.
Yes.
So that makes complete sense from that space. So obviously what we're showing is the gaming workflow that we've kind of created over here. What do you think the feedback's been like so far?
with e-games it's huge. So therefore it's really good to show that a lot of the sort of driver cams and that are all actually done through NDI because it's an easier way to actually network the cameras. We've already got a network based on the whole system anyway, so therefore an NDI camera just slots in really well.
Lovely. Robbie, thank you very much.
No problem at all.
And we're here with Ravi from Thin Labs. Ravi, thank you so much for coming down. Thank you for supporting us for all of the shows. Now, we're using your PoE NUC. The way that we're utilizing it here is this is the commentary area here of our workflow, of our gaming workflow. And can you tell me a bit more about the performance of this PoE NUC?
Thank you, Sia. It's a pleasure to be here. So what we've got here is a very small form factor computer, a full computer, which it's currently running an AMD Ryzen processor with support for 64 GB of RAM. You can have any size solid state drive. But the most important part is it's powered over Ethernet. So that particular device is powered over a single Ethernet cable. And it's working, it's got performance better than many desktops available in the market. But that's not it, because from that desktop, you can power each of these 4 screens has a power out and a video out. So this particular device has 8 cables running out of it, 4 pairs.
Yeah.
Each pair provides power and audio video to the monitors.
All over one, so it's 90 watts essentially coming.
Yes, 90 watts, and that's one Ethernet cable. Now this is a prototype. I've got a new product coming out at the end of this month, where those 4 pairs I was talking about is replaced by a single USB-C cable, which then can power each monitor and provide audio video on there. So it becomes much more simpler, much more neater, and this is the first that anyone in the world has managed to do it.
Wow. And when can we expect these to start shipping then? Because there's been a lot of interest. We first showed this at our show in Manchester. We had a lot of interest. We had the guys, in some of the other areas that are distributors, they were quite interested in it. But obviously we had the prototype. When can we expect a model to come out?
I would say first quarter 2024 in volume. And don't hold me to this only because the Chinese New Year is in place. We manufacture these in Taiwan, and Chinese New Year is generally in February. We're hoping to get everything done before Chinese New Year starts. But so first quarter 2024, you should have these for customers.
Fantastic. And tell us about the roadmap. What else could we expect from Thin Labs?
So this is one device. What we also are talking about is digital signage. So digital signage, there's 2 ways in which, so there are digital signage monitors which are available powered over Ethernet, but we can give you a full all-in-one computer, if you will, which runs over a single Ethernet cable. It can be as big as 43 inches in size, has a Ryzen processor in it. You can run Windows, you can run Linux, you can run Google Chrome, you can run pretty much any operating system that you want. And again, you don't need a plug point where you need to install this. This place can be powered, these places can run just over Ethernet cables.
And of course that could be used for waypoints, point of sale, any number of kind of applications.
Absolutely. Wayfinders, information, information in transportation, in a retail environment, in an office building, in manufacturing. These can come with touchscreens as well, so in case you need interactivity, you can have that as well. So absolutely, you pretty much, right now, if you can come up with a use case, we can probably build it for you.
Brilliant. And where can people find out more information about Thin Labs?
Thin Labs, if you go to our website, which is thinlabs.com, you should have a list of all the products that we sell right now.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Ravi.
Oh, no, thank you again. It's my pleasure.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. And we're joined here by Joris from Artura. Joris, thank you so much for supporting us and coming down today at the Oval for AVoIPoE at KitPlus. Now, it was important because this is the first time we've collaborated together with this Artura software. Can you give me an overview of what Artura is?
So, Artura is a system design and engineering platform, and it allows system integrators or anyone that's actually creating system or delivering systems to clients to draw their systems out on the floor plans and automatically generate their schematics and bill of materials from it.
And we obviously, what we did is actually work together to try to, create the design for what we were going to do here and what we achieved. But the solution doesn't just do the design, does it? It does simultaneous things all at once.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. We have a specific workflow in Artura, and it uses functionality. So you work from out of your client requirements or your own requirements for a specific show or element you want to create, and then you start generating from there. So once you've done the functionality and the requirements, you can basically start at the floor plan, the products, the cables, all simultaneously. So they create automatically a lot of the components you need for the end product, basically.
And where did the thinking about software development for this come from? What's your background?
My background is from the yachting industry. So I've been working for 6 years on large yachting products, and I've used all kind of software, and none of those were really feeding all my needs. Basically, it was always like using so many documents, having 5 windows open, trying to find your way between them, and Artura just completely takes that away into single views. They are dedicated for specific tasks, and that just helps out. It's amazing how fast you can start from just having nothing to a full project done in a couple of days.
And one of the things that we found when we were going through this whole process was, how it streamlines everything, especially like once you put in some of these products, you can use this for any project. So you've got all of the dimensions, you've got all the schematic, everything that you need is right there. And one thing to kind of speak about is when you're working on these solutions and like you go through several iterations, different versions, and designs change all the time. But you can go to each version through this with the touch of a key, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Once you're happy with the design, you can store it and basically make a copy. And you can start working on new stuff, or maybe the client wants things differently. But you send already a lot of documentation out to all of your customers, basically. And they don't know about these changes. So you can actually invite them to Artura and show them interactively what these changes are. So you just select the version that's previously made and the new version, and you will see the changes right away on the screen.
And with that as well, am I correct to understand that if you can simultaneously have the client on board, let's say you've got different departments, the engineering and the designer, have them simultaneously work on the project together?
Yeah, that's possible. You can. It's a SaaS platform, so it's online in the web. You can easily join or invite multiple people to one project and work all together.
Wow. Well, we're going to see how we kind of got on with the Artura software. And thank you again, Joris, for coming down.
Thanks, man.
So I think it makes sense for us to take a step away from the show for a couple of minutes. So, as I say, we're here at the Kia Oval for the final AVoIPoE show of the year.
Yeah, I never thought I'd get here, to be honest.
It's been a fun year for us, in all fairness. We've travelled, started off over in Frankfurt, Manchester, Berlin. We skipped the Glasgow leg.
We skipped the Glasgow leg, yeah.
And we've come home to London. So should we take a look at just a quick highlight package of the last 12 months?
Hello and welcome to AVoIPoE Roadshow here at sunny Manchester. Here at the House of Music from Frankfurt 2023. Here to bring trouble to the Berlin area.
Also broadcasted live on the LED wall, and there should be utilizing NDI over the network.
Kind of you find the world of IT and AV are sort of coming together.
Try to do the mix of UK and EU power, but here we use the sort of hybrid solution between the two that's actually been the saving grace.
Comes out in Frankfurt and is screaming on the stage, "Hey, what up, people?"
The entire structure over here.
People get amazing.
Glen Sound Show 2023.
Figured into vMix. So we've just seen a few sort of highlights of our sort of travels over the past 12 months. What's been the real highlights for you, Sia?
Well, it's been so many. I think one of the main ones was obviously when we went to Berlin. That was fascinating, seeing the competition and finger drumming. That was quite an experience. And I think Manchester itself, I think that was quite an experience because we were at Media City, and Media City is essentially a home for a lot of broadcasts. And being there, being able to kind of do the show from there, we had a number of different vendor partners from there and showing it. It helped kind of keep the momentum going. Just generally, I've just been, really happy that we're continuing to do what we're doing, and now we're looking ahead to the future.
Definitely. I say we've had some great partners involved for 2023 so far. So we've had partners such as Netgear, Bowling, Ordinate, Bird Dog. I'm just trying to think.
You need help too. Well, from this one, we had Hikvision, Vestel, Thin Labs, SY Electronics, Glen Sound. I'm trying to think. Oh, the German company.
Tascam.
Tascam.
We've
yes.
had Tascam.
Yeah. The other German company.
They're going to hate us now,
They're
aren't
going to
they?
hate us. But anyway, there's so many. I just can't even think of how many there've been. Thank you to all of them.
Yeah, I say without the partners, these shows aren't possible. I say they help us bring it all together, and hopefully we've showcased their kit in a few various different scenarios. Some they might have expected, some they might not have expected of this last year.
Make Pro X.
Make Pro X. That's it. Frank for Make Pro X with their MIDI controllers.
That's right.
It's amazing how much you can actually plumb into such a unique controller.
Live View as well.
Live View, yeah, we had them join us over in Manchester at Media City.
Yeah.
But I say it's fair, we've had a great collection of partners for 2023, but 2024 is looking quite interesting. I say we went out for dinner last night and we was also discussing some of the sort of upcoming sort of plans for 2024. How are you feeling about next year, Sia?
So I think what we've done this year is we've kind of solidified, the concept being AVoIPoE, which is a faster way to be able to install workflow solutions in a number of different applications, and how it saves energy, how it saves money. We've kind of focused on that, and also the collaboration aspect with all of these vendors teaming up together to make a complete end-to-end solution. Next year, what we're really looking forward to do is taking that to a next level and doing something much more regularly. So what we're looking to do is do a monthly integration show, and that will be done at your new premises. So you've got a new studio coming up, so it'll be exciting to get, document the new studio build. It'll be exciting to be able to do benchmark tests, to do evaluations, and to really take a lot of these equipment out on site, doing the work that you're doing, to really give a vendor agnostic perspective from a production company's perspective, from a technology consultant's perspective, other system integrators' perspective, so that we can save a lot of time and a lot of because this information isn't widely available. You can't go to a lot of places to see whether or not this will fit a particular system or whether or not this is suitable for a specific workflow. Whether that's a new camera or it's a new encoder, decoder, whatever it might be, we're going to be able to place ourselves in a way just to be, like I say, vendor agnostic and to give an objective opinion of some of these products.
Definitely, and I think as you're saying, understanding these products from a real world scenario, it is hard to understand what the true capabilities of a product are from a catalogue or from an online listing. Being able to have that sort of hands-on approach and hopefully be able to put the right sort of content over to give that sort of first-person perspective of how we can utilise these different products in various scenarios would be an interesting sort of look for next year. I know for myself, just some of the products we've actually utilised, I think I've learned a lot more about them actually on the job configuring them, setting them up and going through that process and just trying something different with them. So one thing that stood out for me is actually we've utilised for this event one of Panasonic Connect's cameras. So it's the CX350. At Alpha Live, we're familiar with a lot of Panasonic's range of cameras, but it was one ourselves we had not got to utilise yet. And it's got NDI built in. You can plug an Ethernet port in there. And the thing that we actually utilised as well was the SRT feature. So we actually took it over to Silverstone with us last week. And it's those sort of experiences which is sometimes hard to understand from a catalogue of how you can fine-tune and actually utilise it in those real-world scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, and what we're trying to do is also build our community and have engagement and provide, direct access to ourselves so that we can communicate via this community. So if someone has a question saying, hey, I want to do a cinema room, how would you approach it? We can give our perspective and give our advice. I mean, there are a million and one ways to be able to do any of these things, but, the important part of it is to give easy access to, a level of expertise that can help you make that decision, help you make that, whether or not you're going in the right direction. And maybe we can document a lot of what we're doing to demonstrate, this is what our findings really, so that we're able to, do things in a way that's objective and it's not just based around just having this equipment and having to say just nice things. But, we want to give people our genuine, authentic, opinions on what the equipment has been like in the way that we use them.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say as well that timing is becoming ever more relevant as well. I say, we're trying to say we've been utilising and adopting the sort of AV over IP approach for quite some time now. But I found the amount of questions that we found today with the intrigue of how we're routing audio around with Dante, etc., utilising the NDI for the various video feeds and different distribution paths. That's been the sort of thing that's really been intriguing for a lot of people today. I think, is it fair to say that conversation is going to start becoming more relevant as time moves on?
I mean, definitely. I mean, there's conversation becomes relevant. It is relevant now. You're seeing these silos breaking down, whether someone's working in broadcast or working in an AV. People are looking outside of their specific vertical for solutions, maybe from a cost-saving perspective or from a perspective that they don't have the right solution within their own environment that is, maybe cost prohibitive, or the functionality is not there. And a lot of the times you're able to do, I mean, I think you did something right now in terms of utilizing something, looking from outside of your broadcast area and going, what can I find in the medical field? What can I find in in another vertical to be able to complement the workflow that you want to achieve? And
I think it comes down to a lot of sort of manufacturers for not always pitching their product to the right audience and understanding these various different use cases. But we've been moving like a couple of slight tweaks and changes. Their product can have a lot wider audience and be utilised in so many different ways. And that's one of the things, we've experienced a lot of this last few months with different manufacturing vendors we've come across. So it's been one hell of a year, 2023. Any sort of final closing remarks?
Well, I think we've got a lot of. We're hoping we can do a lot more events next year. I mean, we've teamed up this year with Sample Music Festival, with Pro Light and Sound, with KitPlus. We're hoping to expand on that for next year with all of those and more. So watch this space, and obviously people engage with the content. Ask questions that you have. If you've got ideas, you want us to do certain things, please give us that opinion, give us that feedback, so that we can take that on board and see what we can do. Another day, another show. AVoIPoE. What do you think?
Do you know what? I think we've ended this year with a bang. It's probably been my favourite event we've done this year, despite we've not actually had the sort of exotic travel we've had over in Germany so far. But yeah, it's been really good. It's nice to have a home audience, and there's been so much interest in the e-gaming rig.
Yeah, I mean, I think from that perspective, when we're working around different workflows, e-gaming is such a good way of being able to get people immersed into understanding what we're trying to do, because it's got all of these technical requirements that you need to hit. And then you've got this kind of interaction that you know, people just want to sit down, they want to have a go. There's the competitive edge we had with the exhibitors wanting to get the fastest lap. And then when we were actually explaining the solution to people, it's almost like you can see their brain ticking and get, you know, that kind of that eureka moment. Oh, the audio's coming through Dante. Oh, you're streaming this via NDI. Oh, you're doing this all on a 1 gig system. Oh, you know, all of these things become apparent to them once you're explaining to them. And for us, it works because we're able to deliver our message without being intrusive, and then we're immersing them into our workflow.
Definitely, and there's one person who was really surprised that there wasn't a single XLR cable in sight.
That's right, everything is on the network.
Fantastic. So that rounds us out for 2023. We'll see you next year.
See you next year.